I'm Shane Nyland, and my co host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. This is part 2 of our conversation with Eli Mann of Sledgehammer Platoon.
Fun. I have a couple memories of you over there, but I don't know, the one that sticks out to me the most, and I have zero idea why I was so wound up on you. But it was after it was right before a mission, and I I laid into you so bad, and I think I just went off half cocked because what I remember specifically is me coming back around and being like, that might have been a little much. and that for whatever reason, it just sticks in my head that I remember I just ripped you up one side and down the other, and then like took 2 steps away and then came back around and was like, that might have been about 10% more than I needed to do. And then I turned back around and walked away. I don't know if you remember that, but I do still feel a little bit bad about that one.
I don't remember, but knowing me back then, I probably deserved it, you know. I was one of the harder, not smarter Marines.
I do remember. It was. I think it was more that there was a couple of you that you were just junior, like you were really boot, and so you were really kind of lost in the sauce. And you and Wolf too, for that matter, you'd get lost in your thoughts more than like you were overthinking it, and it'd be like, God damn it, stop thinking, just fucking do.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, speaking of junior, you were a PFC. When did you come to the company? When did you come to the unit?
I was a part of the kids that went to Hawaii first and then came to the unit.
Okay. All right.
I came from a hotel company in Paris Island to a hotel company in Camp Geiger for infantry training. And then from there, we went to Hawaii, sat there for probably maybe a week. I don't know. Sure. And then came to 2-4.
What did you think of that transition? Were you pretty bullshit about it, or were you just like, whatever, just wherever I land is where I land?
I was like, what the heck is going on here, guys? I thought I had a good one, but no, I ended up in California, which was still awesome. I mean, it was a great experience to be a magnificent bastard, but like at the time I was like, man, somebody doesn't have their shit together here.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a symptom of a larger issue that everything was so new, everything was changing. They didn't even know where to send people. They didn't know where to get people to send people. That story is crazy as hell to me that they flew you guys all the way out to Hawaii, and then you would think they'd just leave you there and then send somebody else, but nope. It's cheaper or easier to package you up and send you.
Well, and it was also a grip of you guys too, right? Like it wasn't just a few; it was a lot. Do you know how many?
Yeah,
there. I mean, approximately. I mean, I'm not looking for an exact count, but more than 20.
Yeah, more than 20. Definitely more than 20. I would say probably around 40 or so.
They freaking flew a platoon out there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay, Marine Corps. Oh, shit. So then you were you part of, did you end up going to March? I mean, we're kind of going backwards in time just for a second, but did you end up getting some other like doing March Air Force Base? Did you get any other training other than the backyard shit that we did?
Yeah, we did March Air Force Base, went out there and did the exercises out there in the city area. One night we got ambushed by someone. I don't know who it was, because by the time like they started firing, we were all dead where we were. So we were like, okay. it was they just snuck up on us and ambushed us, and yeah, so that was interesting. There was one mission, I can't remember if it was at March Air Force Base the first time or at um, Mount City. Um, Definitely it was at Mount City, but um, we were we were driving down towards the city itself, and Ackles and Acres took my vehicle. They actually came up and took us in the back and took us on a little joyride, so that was interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Mount City, that was something new to us too, you know. Um, just being there in a new unit and learning new people, and I was honestly kind of lost in the sauce there for a bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, you were literally weeks into the fleet and then straight into you're supposed to be doing advanced infantry stuff like all of a sudden not the basics and with people you've never met. That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you find it? Did you find it easy to transition into the like were we, we were pretty focused on the mission and stuff like that, or were you feeling kind of out in the air?
I felt pretty comfortable transitioning into some things. Other like relationship wise with the other platoon, the people in the platoon, I was kind of lost in the sauce because I'm not one to make friends quickly. I feel out the area and then, you know, then make my decision. But training wise, we did learn a lot there at March Air Force Base, and it was really useful. We're in Ramadi.
To me, the biggest difference that I saw was, and I don't know what this was about the mount instructors. It's nothing against them personally, but they still had I don't know, I'd like to say a peacetime mindset. They still wanted to use stress tactics. So they were throwing arty sims at us. They were like, do you remember that? They'd come up and fire blank rounds literally right behind you. They'd be like, oh, you're not wearing ear pro, you're talking to somebody. They'd fire a blank round like literally right behind you. And I'm like, what is that supposed to do? It's just making me angry. It's not making me, I'm not learning anything from that. Thank you. But they were very, I don't know, almost adversarial as far as the way they were doing training. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the junior guys that was having difficulty understanding how to get over a wall with his gear on. And they made him do it like, I don't even know, 20 times. The roll over the wall thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It was so many times. And I was like, I don't know that he's going to get it. Also, every wall is different. I don't know what that's really teaching anybody. But cool, man. Carry on. Keep going. You're higher ranked than me, so I can't say anything. But you're right. When we went to March Air Force Base, I think because they were guest instructors, because they weren't even from, like, they weren't from Pendleton. There were some Marine instructors there, some upper level people, but I think they were from Quantico. And then we had the guest British and a couple other people, and it was, I don't know, man. It was good. It definitely had a more, I would like to say collegial, I don't know, something. It had a more like we're trying to actually teach you something environment versus we're trying to fuck you up environment.
I remember one of the British guys going on a rant about sidewalk versus pavement. He was explaining that to them, sidewalk was, sidewalk, and the pavement was the sidewalk to them. So
Good.
Tactical semantics.
Yeah.
Infantry's the same everywhere, man. You find something to complain about. You're like, what can I complain about? The pavement. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and actually bringing up the British people that we had another round with them when we were in Kuwait. I don't know if you were a part of that group where those British guys came over and gave us some hip pocket classes when we were actually in Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
That was some actually got some really good info from them, um, and definitely incorporated a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just gonna say I don't remember much about like the Kuwait stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll jog your memory with a couple of dates and see if anything shakes loose and let me know what you think. Let's see. Obviously, there's all the stuff that happened in the beginning of April. I know that you guys were on guard duty for part of that, but not all of it. You happen to remember, so you would have been out on the 8th, ninth, and 10th. And uh, I've been trying to dig into this more because I really can't remember exactly what happened on the 9th, even though we were all out. But the 8th was Operation County Fair. That was the first cordon and search, which was fairly successful as far as gathering material. We found field hospitals, that kind of stuff. I think that's what inspired Colonel Kennedy to have us do the bug hunter. I don't know. I don't know what was the inspiration for it, but we basically did that on a grand scale on the 10th, and you guys were part of that for sure. The first big bug hunt, and that was in the North Sophia district up by where you guys were at was closer to the Euphrates River in the north edge of the cordon.
Yep.
Any memories from that?
Um, I think that were we by the Palms? I can't remember if we were by the Palms around that
Correct.
time.
Yes.
But we had set up a checkpoint there at this intersection. It had some old Iraqi buildings around, and this kid he decided to take a tow truck on a little joyride. He After the fact, we found out that he was not right in the head and everything. The father came out and gave this signal, which I guess means like waving his hand to the side of his head, saying that this kid isn't right. He drove through our concertina wire and already lit him up with a 240, lit up the engine block with a 240, and some of it got into the cab and everything because I remember seeing the tracers bounce in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kneeled about ready to engage, and the vehicle stops. And surprisingly, this kid survived. I mean, he had some scratches and stuff on him, but man, he was a lucky kid because that 240 can do some damage.
Yeah.
That was also the mission that we had the danger close mortar rounds. They kicked off the bug hunt by dropping. We dropped our own mortars, but they were a little too close to us. So
Whoopsie daisy.
do you remember that, or does it?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious, and I actually don't know the answer to this. I'm just thinking now. So the next day after that was Easter Sunday. It was the memorial service that they did. Did you guys end up making it out to the memorial service? I know elements of Rainmaker did. I don't know if you guys did.
I know that some of us did. Actually, I think that I did not make it to that. I might have been, off doing something else, but I know that I didn't make it to it.
Yeah,
I made
was,
it to the ones.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Sledgehammer went out to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not either. The memorial was still up when the next time we went to Combat Outpost,
Yes.
so we got to see it, but we were not there for the service. Yeah.
There's a couple ceremonies on Hurricane Point, but I don't remember going out to the.
Yeah. Yeah, they did the 21 gun salute, one in front of the palace. Yeah, we were there for that one. But and that was not on the 11th. I don't remember what day that was, but yeah. All right, let's see. The last 2 weeks of April was when, just in case this triggers a memory, maybe it won't. You may not have known anything about it. This is when Sergeant Major Booker decided to have his own secret squirrel missions and grabbed a couple of guys and had the bearded guys that went out. They were trying to do like a low pro mission around the city. And
What you might remember of that is that we had to sit in our trucks. We had to sit in our trucks with our engines on, and we were sitting there for forever. Actually, that I think is what that was a time when I was. That's I just remembered why not after you.
Oh,
It was during that time.
was he not on the truck on time?
No, he wasn't. You were getting you were slow rolling out there, and we were already supposed to have our engines running, and
That's funny.
that was now
Okay.
I'm remembering.
So yeah, I triggered somebody's memory. Good. Yeah. And then we already kind of talked about Operation Treasure Island and the fallout of that, trying to find the swimmers from Fox that had drowned. Next thing that I have for Sledgehammer specifically, and or for 81s would be May 12th. Obviously, with Savage getting killed by that IED. Did you happen to know Savage at all? Were you close with him?
I knew him from a distance. He seemed like a pretty cool guy, like, kind of a wiry, crazy guy, but he it was sad to hear the news that he had been hit and killed by that IED. I remember seeing everyone's reaction and just feeling hurt by that one of our own had been hit. Um, I know D Fonseca took it hard. Everyone took it hard. Um, some of the scuttlebutt back in the hooch was that he was hit, but he was going to be okay. But then we got the news that he had passed away. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, we sort of it's I don't know if overshadow is the right word, but I mean Riegelsberger was hit in the same IED and was in critical condition. I mean, he was had
Mhm.
a lot of weeks of medical care and surgeries after that. I it, it was a hell of a moment because both of those guys were big personalities, at least to me. They were big personalities to me in 81s. They were guys that I knew well.
yeah, we had really brief interactions. I just remember seeing him sitting on top of the armor, rolling out with the 50, and just like not coming back.
Yeah. My next memory, or my next note anyway, for Sledgehammer specifically was May 29th ended up being a big day. And it was a big day specifically because you guys were out there at the, somebody called it the Arches of Death. I don't know that we ever call it the Arches of Death, but we always call it the Arches. But out at the Arches. And that was when the engineers were sweeping the Habanilla Dam. And there was an IED that was not diffused that blew up and hit those engineers. You happen to remember any of that stuff? Trigger any memories for
Um, no, I do not.
you? Okay, yeah, that's all right. The other part of that day, and I don't know where you guys were at that point because you were not at the Arches anymore. But there was a VBIED that was parked on the side of the road that both your platoon had called in and my platoon had called in, but for some reason the word had not gotten to Echo Company. And a QRF trike highback rolled right past it, and it was loaded with small ball bearings or nuts or screws or something. And it just shredded that highback and wounded a lot of guys that day. Killed 4 right there. And so um, you guys may not have been a part of that. The next big things was we already kind of talked about June a little bit. That was the next big bug hunt, the gas shell attack. The snipers were killed in June. That was June 29th. Sergeant Condi was wounded on the night of the 30th and died on the morning of July 1st. Do you happen to have any interactions with Condi at all? I know he was, from what I understand, he was kind of, I don't know, everywhere all the time in the barracks and kind of helping people out and training them and getting them spun up.
I never met him personally, but I heard great stories about him. That he was a
Yeah,
great guy. He was really compassionate about what he does. So,
yeah, good.
um,
Let's see. Last few things I have for Sledgehammer specifically. You guys responded when the police station got exploded. I don't know if you remember that one, but they had just built a brand new police station, and then the insurgency blew it up and leveled it. That was July 3rd. And then there was a couple of things that you guys did respond to at some point. OP Library was attacked with explosives. They blew out the top floor. Uh, let's see. And then Operation Traveler would be the next big one. That was the first week of August. That was with so when Al Qaeda in Iraq started spinning up. You had Zarqawi was the leader of that, and he had family in Ramadi. And then there was a bunch of different cordon searches that you guys were on the inner portion of the kick element. And I don't know how much you personally did, Eli, but I remember being the outer cordon while you guys did a lot of kicking down doors and taking out a lot of high value targets.
Yeah, I was mostly on the vehicle for those pulling security. Really couldn't leave the vehicle, leave my gunner behind. So we were just watching each other's back. I do remember the VBIED. That's something that actually I carried with me as a personal failure for a while because I saw the spray painted windows on that orange and white
That's
like
the one.
taxi cab thing,
Mhm.
and I looked down at the uh, I forget what I was looking at, but I look back up and I see this thing and we're rolling by and I'm like, "Hey, look at that!" And one of the guys that I was riding with looked at it and I guess someone called it in. I didn't know that someone had called it in at the time.
Yep.
I just thought that it was missed. And when the Echo Company was hit, um, I felt like I had failed someone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you felt like that. Here, 22 years later, it was not you, and it was called in. This is one of those things, and I don't know that we'll ever get an answer. I mean, especially 20 years later. But we had such a decentralization of command, where small unit leaders, I mean, lance corporals, in often cases, were making huge decisions. But when it came to comm, there was choke points in the comm structure that were glaring holes in our strategy. We couldn't talk to the army ever. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't directly communicate. I remember only one time ever when we had air overhead where I could actually talk to the air, which was weird since they were literally right over the top of me. You would think that would be something you always had to call into higher. Higher would talk to him. There was like there was no joint forces communication portion, and that was what happened with this. Is we talked back and forth between Map 2 and Sledgehammer about that vehicle borne IED. We both called in to hire and they reported it to Echo according to what I could hear on the radio. But somehow it just never made it to these guys, or they thought they were on a different street when they made the turn. That's also possible because they were on a whole different patrol on the north of the city, to my understanding. And they had just made a turn onto Michigan when they rolled past it and got hit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it's a weird thing that I'm hoping people learn from later because that was my biggest frustration. Probably the whole damn deployment was comms.
It still sends a shiver down my spine thinking about that vehicle, looking at it and seeing what they explained to us it would look like, and it actually did look like it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I'm like, holy shit, that.
yeah.
the, but it's great to know that it wasn't a personal failure, that it was a comms failure, and
Yeah, man.
people didn't know about it.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of tragedy could have been prevented that day, but it just didn't happen, and that's who knows
That
how.
whole day was a lot of dumb decisions. Because
Yep.
those engineers should not have gotten taken out how they did
Nope.
either.
No,
So,
absolutely
I mean,
not.
there was.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of rolling through. Again, talking a little about August. There was multiple coordinate searches through August. To me, from what I remember, was August was just one mission after another of long missions, and to me, the insurgency felt more bold. And maybe you remember this being on the trucks. Previous cordon searches, the cordon was boring. You didn't do shit. The guys on the inner element were getting all the action. Not in August. In August, there was like you'd get attacked on the cordon constantly while people were kicking down doors. Did you ever have that issue when you were out there pulling security on the trucks?
Personally, I did not on my truck. I've heard of a few things that happened, names and places. They flee me now, but um, just the intensity and the tension in the air was palpable around that time. Um, Always vigilant, always looking around, even more so than before, um, because like you could literally feel it in the air around that time.
Yeah.
This is, and I, again, because we switched our trucks out so much, I have a hard time remembering who was my driver and who wasn't. By any chance, were you my driver when, um, what was the, that political party when it got raided and they had all the guns in there? Remember this mission? We
I
found a
know
bunch
what
of guys in this.
I know what you're talking about. And I literally just looked at the picture of the name of the party, and it's not coming to me. But it was like
Yeah,
the something something liberation of Iraq party or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah.
yeah, and I think was it Oliver North that was out there with us too at the time.
Hmm.
I think he was there and he took some pictures, and I think he was actually with us.
Yeah.
And anyways, to make a long story short, after they had found all the stuff and they were like inventory everything, my truck was sent down, and this is where I'm asking you, man, if you remember this, is they sent us off to like hold, like it was kind of the northern part, but the roads were so jig-jaggy that we were having a hard time getting line of sight, like of any kind of matter. I mean, it was only like 50, 60 feet, and then it would jig-jag, the road would, where you couldn't see anything. And we kept getting just far enough where the inner squad was getting just foggy enough. And it was like, all right, well, then we had to back off. Anyways, to make a long story short, I was, I had asked, I think I feel like it was the driver. It would have been you or maybe Winder. But I was like, hey, go ahead. We're all going to stay here with the trucks. Why don't you go take God position? And at that exact moment, that car came whipping around the corner and almost hit us. And I don't know how we didn't all unload on the guy, but that was one of those kind of like, I don't know, like adrenaline blackout moments where like all I remember is kind of seeing the car come around the corner and then all of a sudden coming to, and then having the guy pulled out of the car and he was on the ground, and it was me and another guy holding him down, being like, what the, and it was just a random guy. He was, they drive like 1,000 miles an hour and didn't realize that we were sitting right there. But that was up there with one of the nothing happened, but one of the scariest moments because I thought we were getting rammed by a VBIED.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was around the time where he got the ACOGs, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think I went up on a building for Overwatch.
Yes. Okay. Then it was you. Yeah. Because I was exactly that, for that exact reason. I was like, we can't see shit. And before you could even get inside the building, the guy came around the corner. But that's, for whatever reason, one of my more vivid memories of my time over there, because I nearly shit myself with that car coming around the corner. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. We're all dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and I'm trying to remember, I think maybe it was the 28th of July. I don't know. It was the last weeks of July. That was the first rolling VBIED we had seen. Where one was at, and what's funny is it got pushed by another car, but the original reports were that someone had driven it at the convoy, but it wasn't. It got pushed by another vehicle or something. It got pushed by something, and it was rolling at the convoy. But it was the first rolling VBIED we had seen, and that was an escalation of tactics. So you were right to be scared because we were all sure that was going to happen.
Well, I do because I remember, yes, because I remember towards the end, they started talking about the kind of the suicide dead man switch, driver idea.
Yep.
Which did end up happening more. Thank God it never really happened for us. But
yeah, I think we never had it confirmed, but we had a couple of like potential suicide IEDs, but never. I don't think we ever had a suicide driver.
Yeah.
Well, coming towards the end of this thing, man, you remember anything towards August or transitioning into September and on out of Ramadi?
I remember my ride out. It was on a 7-ton, and just looking out at at the expanse and everything, moving to some base away from Ramadi. Uh, just feeling a sense of relief after a while, that I made it through, and that um, I was lucky enough to be able to be the ones that went home from it. Um, I I felt lucky is what I felt after everything that we had been through.
A fair feeling. Did you have so do you remember the flight out? Freedom Bird home?
Yeah, that one was actually on a nicer plane than what we rode in on. Wasn't it a commercial plane?
It was
Yeah.
a United
Yes.
Airlines flight. Yeah, it was much nicer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one that flew, one that didn't. Yeah, I mean,
Drink
We didn't
service,
have to.
leg room. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I was on the working party for the gear.
Did you
Um,
get set first class?
yeah, I got to sit in first class. It was pretty nice.
There you go.
Didn't have to sit all zipper legged with everyone. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's when it really hit home that that I was getting to go and see my family again. Um,
Were they there for you when we got there, or was that later when you went home on leave?
it was later when I went home on leave. Um, I got to go and see my dad and my mom, my stepmom, my girlfriend at the time. Get to go and be crazy for about 30 days and then come back and
Nice.
work up for Japan.
So while you were deployed, were you in contact with your family much or your girlfriend? Did you call them or write them or?
I wrote my family. I wrote my dad more than my mom because he was an Army engineer. He would understand more so what I was talking about
Sure.
and could filter whatever to my mom.
Good tactic for sure.
Mostly I called my girlfriend,
Mhm.
because why not? Yeah.
And were people sending you care packages at all?
I got a care package from my great grandma Hook and that side of the family, which was pretty cool. They sent, I think, some candy, hygiene stuff, just useful things that we could use over there. They wouldn't send tobacco because none of
Sure.
them smoked, but
Yeah.
with cigarettes at $8 a carton over there and the Haji hooch, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of had me think just for a second. Did you got any specific memories of any of the guys? We talked a little bit about this of our senior guys and stuff like that, but any of the guys that you who did you hang out with the most, like not on the missions and stuff like that, and any specific memories of any of the guys back in the on Hurricane Point?
I remember hanging out in the smoke pit a lot, just the random guys that would walk in there and have a cigarette, hanging out with Adams. We we would call him Samata because it's Adams backwards. Uh,
Nice.
Martinez, he would be back there with us. George Hernandez, I bunked beside him, him and Jamie Rocha. Um, Wolf, of course, he was one of my closest guys that I was with there. Although he kind of just went off grid after we got out. He's I have his phone number and stuff. I just haven't gotten the nerve up to call him yet. Um, yeah, just those guys, I believe.
Nice. You should call him.
Very good.
He'd be happy to hear from you. That's more and more that we talk to people, man. I don't know. It's surprising how connected you are even after. I'm happy to see you. I haven't seen you in literally 22 years, probably almost to the day. Yeah, it's been a long time, but it's good to see you.
You as well.
Well, you talked a little about coming home and you talked a little about spending time with your family. How'd you feel when you got home, when you were on that sort of, they called it trash can leave, that sort of free 30 days that we got?
I felt great. I just went out and partied and saw family, hung out with my stepbrother, which when we get together, it's like just a drink fest. Um, Went out and went to a frat party actually, which was pretty cool. Um,
Nice.
got an overly expensive rental car and just, just had fun.
That's good. That's good. Did you talk to anybody about anything that had happened, or you just kind of keep it to yourself and hang out and try to enjoy the time?
I kept it mostly to myself. I did talk to my dad about a couple things. One of them was the sniper squad. One of them was Lance Corporal Savage being killed over there. And just pretty much just venting about how I felt about everything.
It's good you had an outlet. A lot of people didn't have anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit pushing forward. I mean, you got thrust from being a PFC to being a senior Marine real fast. You got your own boots pretty quick by winter time that year. Uh, Anything influence your leadership? Anything that you specifically brought with you going forward?
Just a lot of the understanding and professionalism that I saw from the other guys. Um, Corporal Musser, he was a great influence. He's always the intelligent guy, always the guy that, well, to me, knew what to do, which was pretty cool.
You don't
We
have to
had
be
certain.
you don't have to be nice to him because he's sitting here. It's not required.
We
I'll
had
send you.
Sergeant
I'll send you that
Escobar
money
for a
later.
while. Oh God, no. uh, Sergeant Escobar, Corporal Wade, we had them through Japan, so I got to see their leadership style and just got to experience other types of leadership, with all of them. So
hmm You
yeah,
you guys took Esquivel again to Okinawa?
yeah, he went with us.
That was like his 10th trip to Okinawa. Esquivel, if you're listening to this, I'm very sorry.
This, yeah, because he came in like 98 or
Yeah, yeah.
97 or something like that.
He had done a few different 31st Mews long before
Yeah.
we ever even met him. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
he was
That's
a
cool, man.
he was a firecracker. I loved him. He was great.
He knew his shit, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. And then you stuck around for the Barwana deployment also after that. And by most people's counts, it was much different than your trip to Ramadi. And just to kind of round this out, anything? Did you bring any lessons learned from your 2004 time in Ramadi to what you sort of prepared your guys for? Because at that time, you definitely would have been senior, so you'd been preparing some guys for returning to Iraq.
Definitely constant vigilance. Constant vigilance. You cannot let complacency sneak in, no matter how tired you are, how hungry you are, how cold you are that time. Because even though in our area we didn't have much conflict, there was still like that sneaking suspicion everywhere. When we went into the city, we pushed through it and they built a berm around it with, I think, two vehicle checkpoints and two permanent vehicle checkpoints and one or two pedestrian checkpoints.
Hmm.
Just staying on alert pretty much is the gist of everything.
Well, that's a hell of a way to round this out. And I've asked most people this, and I'll ask you the same thing. You've got 20 years of reflection. So your answer probably if I asked you 10 years ago would be different. If I ask you in 10 years from now, it'll probably be different. But kind of now, how do you think about everything looking back on it? What does it mean to you? What does your service mean to you? And what does specifically 2004 Ramadi mean to you? What do you tell people about it?
2004 Ramadi is when 2nd Battalion, 4th Marine in my era defined itself as one of the hardest battalions that is in the Marine Corps. We held down an area that was very volatile, despite going in thinking that it was security and safety and security operations. The men who died over there didn't die in vain. And everyone left something, you know. I know that I'm proud of what we did over there. I'm proud that we were able to hold our own in such a bad place. And some of us got to come back. So it's always good.
It's a good way to say it, man. I like it. Yeah, that's good. It's a good way to wrap it up. Cool. I not trying to push you out. Is there anything we didn't cover that you want to cover? I'm all ears. I just, I'm not sure where to go from here.
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything pretty well.
Nice. Well, it's good to see you, Eli. Thanks for joining us and sharing. I look forward to editing this again and listening to it. It's been good to talk to you.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.